So I got a guy on Twitter who's trying to defend AMC as an investment versus GameStop, which is wild to me. I don't know the guy, but he said, "Hey, Morantz, same thing that's happening to AMC is also happening to GameStop." So I was like, "Did you just make my argument for me?" Because comparing the two and saying they're the same, that just means you're uninformed, but it doesn't make it true about GameStop what's true about AMC. I just want that to be said. But let's talk about it in a different light. The differences and the similarities. Similarities are that they're pushed out in front of you. I get that. The differences being private equity's been in AMC since 2001. Not 2021, 2001 is when the movie theater industry understood the decline and what was coming. So they've been sucking out every ounce. I mean, it's a 100-year, industry. They've been sucking out every ounce of profit out of this damn thing. And for Adam Aron to go and exchange the company's debt, and he used shareholder equity to do it, that means you shareholders just paid off AMC's debt, and you keep making payments on it, and you're doing it with your equity, and that's not good. That's not fiduciary duty for any CEO. A CEO shouldn't be in business. They shouldn't be in charge. When Adam Aron walked into the company in 2015-ish, that company, since that date to now, 9 years later, they've lost $7.5 billion operationally. That's unheard of. To keep your job and to lose $7.5 billion with the equity is ridiculous. And I'm talking about operations itself, not equity. I shouldn't say equity because they lost a lot more than that. They once had a market cap of 30 billion, 20 billion, 10 billion. They're 1 billion. The company's not worth nearly what you think it is, nor is your position. But I'm not going to argue this with you. You asked me to have my stance on why GameStop's top line revenue is down 50% over 8 years and why they continue to show losses on revenue. Back in the 2000s, GameStop was owned and controlled by private equity, just like AMC is today. GameStop has cut out the fat. They've also cut out private equity. They pushed them out. That's why the people, us, that's why we own it. We have an activist investor by the name of Ryan Cohen. He came in and he pushed out private equity. Now he gets to try to make this company work and stay afloat and all the above. Now we know GameStop's doing great. Operationally, they actually show a profit for the first time in the history of their company over the last 7 years. And that's huge. That's huge because the transition from private equity to us has been that 5-year turn. But you got to battle the news. You got to battle misinformation, guys like you. And then there's guys like me who just keep showing you exactly what GameStop's doing. So on a fiscal front, yes, GameStop's making money. The trailing 12, they're making money. And the difference is GameStop has a huge cash position, not a cash burn. They actually have zero cash burn. So to have that much cash, the $4.6 billion cash, and it's going to keep growing every quarter, every year, there's no stopping GameStop. For all of you guys that are confused, like the phrasing that this guy on Twitter said, he said, well, GameStop's eventually going to invest into something outside of it, therefore it will not benefit the shareholders. I'm sorry, anything that GameStop does with their cash is going to benefit the shareholders. It's called shareholder equity. It's not a shareholder deficit. It doesn't go away. That's why your book value per share keeps increasing no matter how much you dilute the float. You could dilute it and offer shares all you want. That cash stays in the coffers. GameStop doesn't owe anybody money. There's no covenants on the company. There's no requirements for them to pay. There's no corporate bonds. That's huge when you're investing. To make a profit and have it that way, you could show a profit, quarterly profit, all you want for any company you have, but if you have bondholders at the door, you have covenants that you have to answer to, you literally make no money. You'll never make $1. You'll never be able to pay off the $4 billion in this case for AMC. You can exchange it all you want, but what are you exchanging? Shareholder equity. So let's go ahead and go fast forward into what GameStop is and what it was, where it's headed, because apparently you don't understand percentages. There was a time in 2019, even in 2018, quarter four, every year, GameStop's coming in around 16% on gross profit margin. They were even doing, 22%, 23% for the whole year. Officially, now, GameStop is over 30%. They were actually at 31.17% for the first time in 6 years. They actually broke 30% gross profit for a quarter. That means they're doing better business. So when you start saying top line revenues falling off by 50%, whatever it may be, their stores fell down by more than that. They've actually cut out more stores than what they lost in revenue. They're making more revenue per store than they ever have because it's about e-commerce. It's about transition. It's about profitability. PSA graded cards helps with that. You'll see it in the next quarter as well. But before we have to prove it to you in real time, because it's actually happening right now, realize this. Movie theaters top line, I'm talking about domestic box office nationally across the board, has shrunk. It's gone down. Foot traffic's gone down by 80% over the last decade. Top line, even though there's inflation, even though there's price increases on the concessions and movie tickets, they still can't hit the numbers they had previously. And the reason being, top line's fallen off that much on the movie industry. Really has. But beyond that, have they closed that many movie theaters? They didn't close off half to lose half. Domestic box office is down over $1 billion over the last 4 years, quarter four. And I know there was a pandemic, there's a strike, there's everything. So I'm going to give you a true shot at it this year. This quarter right now that I'm sitting in quarter four, I encourage you, all you moviegoers, get out there and see how many dollars you can put on the books. Break $2 billion, but just know this. In 2018, 2016, 2017, 2019, they were doing $2.9 billion quarter four. You'll never get there. The word is never. And unfortunately, people have been lying to you guys that your investment's going to come back and that Adam Aron's doing the right thing for you. AMC movie theaters is a failed investment. I get that. But please don't partner up with GameStop. Don't put them together. Don't put them in the same conversation. GameStop's profitable. GameStop has cash. And GameStop has you, the investor. No one else has that. They all have lien holders. They all have shareholders. They all have bond holders. They all have people to answer to. And it's called private equity. GameStop doesn't have that. Enjoy your losses, AMC investors. I've been telling you this for 4 years. You're down 90% on your investment at least, and you keep listening to dumbasses like all the rest of them. Good luck, or maybe not so much. Peace!